To be living elemental is to be living a more balanced life. I'm your host, Sara Ann, and the founder of Jade Scott Design. Through my interior design studio and feng shui practice, I awaken clients to the idea that their home is just as essential to their well-being as is to their mind and bodies. Essentially, nature's elements create balance and support, and through the lens of home, we can utilize their power when applied intentionally. Through this podcast, it is my intention to open you up to the idea that by living elemental through mind, body, and spirit will have a significant impact on your home and your life. I'm excited for today's conversation. We're going to talk about ways in which you can increase your wealth and prosperity. We're going to use your home as a playground for this topic. And this is probably one of the most requested reasons for a feng shui consultation. I mean, for good reason. For a lot of us, wealth is completely misunderstood and way out of balance. And I also want to just let it be known that I'm not an expert here in wealth. This is actually an area of my life that I'm also working on through my own feng shui and really my overall money mindset. And today I just wanted to share with you some things that have helped me and my clients who also want to increase their income or minimize expenditures or just overall improve their financial landscape. So, step number one is we're going to locate your money corner. So, this will be a brief introduction into the Bagua map. The Bagua map is a tool that we use when we're working with the energy of your space or environment. The Bagua map is broken down into 9 sections or guas, and each section represents an area of your life and its representation in your home. So it's an energetic map that we can lay over your floor plan. You can lay the Bagua map over an individual room. You could lay the Bagua map on your desk and feng shui your desk. So there's all kinds of really cool ways that you can use it. Your relationship to wealth and prosperity is going to be in the back far left corner of your home. So I want you to imagine standing in your front door, looking into your home. Just kind of let your eye be drawn to the far back left corner of your home. If you have a complicated floor plan or you're just really not sure, you can also work on one room. If you decide to do that, I would suggest your bedroom because your bedroom represents your relationship with yourself. The bedroom is also a really great place to maybe even just start small. So if you wanted to just use your bedroom, imagine standing in the doorway and let your eye be drawn to the far back left corner of your bedroom. That's where you'll be focusing for today. And if that is still too complicated for you, think of your workspace or your desk. And sitting at your desk, you can look at the top left corner of your desk, and you could even feng shui that. Maybe you're looking at that now and you're like, oh, there's a stack of papers and there's cords and earbuds and all kinds of stuff. So locating your money corner is step number one. Okay. It is in the far back left corner, whether you are standing at your front door and looking into your home, whether you're standing at the door of your bedroom and looking into your bedroom, or even just sitting at your desk or looking at the top left corner of your desk. So now that we've located the area of focus and we know where our wealth corner is, we're going to address any clutter. Clutter in this area disrupts the flow of energy, aka money, and prevents you from receiving. Remember, if we want more of anything, we have to make room for it. So look at this space really with a fine-tooth comb. What is no longer serving? What is piled up? And think beyond the objective clutter that we typically think of. If you're in your bedroom, it might be a pile of clothes in that back corner. If you're looking at your entire floor plan, maybe your kitchen is in there. How is your pantry? Is it full of expired food and just spilling out with snacks? All of these things you can start looking at. And again, like we referenced with your desk, looking at that far left corner as it's stacks of papers and cords and whatever it may be. So, step number two is clearing the clutter. I want you to also think about mental clutter or spiritual clutter. What are your beliefs about money? Do you believe that money is even spiritual? Or physical clutter as it relates to your body? The energy of money is reflected in our body as it relates to the hips, the buttocks, and overall muscle function. It's also related to the gallbladder. So, are you experiencing any issues in any of those areas? It'll be interesting to see if things start connecting for you. Step number three is we're going to open up for more flow. Okay. We kind of started that process in clearing the clutter, but now we're just going to open ourselves up to receiving. Money is energy, energy flows, but it can also stagnate. It can also rush. A great example of rushing money is living paycheck to paycheck. As soon as it comes in, it goes right back out. If it's stagnant, that means maybe you're hoarding money. There's not a good exchange of receiving and giving. So we're really striving for a nice flow or a nice balance of flowing in and flowing out. The translation for this particular gua or your wealth corner from the I Ching, which is an ancient Chinese book of divination and it's the source of Taoist philosophy. The translation of this gua is the persistent influence of wind. So just think of the wind picking up in nature, and it moves through the trees and the branches and it stirs and it spreads. So just like in nature, a healthy balance of money is understanding and appreciating that it's circular. So you could bring in elements that speak to wind or flow, such as wind chimes. So if you have a door or a window in this wealth corner, maybe installing a small chime could be good for this spot. As the wind blows, you hear the chime, and it's not about placing the chime. It's about understanding every time you hear the chime, it's a reminder to affirm your desired relationship with money, right? So any feng shui adjustment we make isn't about making the adjustment. It's really about the intention you set for it. That's the most important part. So, step number three, opening up to the flow, opening up to receiving, and opening up to giving. Step number four, elemental association to the wealth corner is wood. So, the wood element should be dominant in this area. The wood in this area is supported by water. So, a nice addition of water through the use of maybe small water fountains or bird baths outside the window of this wealth corner could be a really good addition. The destructive element in this cycle is metal. A metal axe chops down wood, right? So that's just a good way to remember that metal is destructive in this cycle. So we don't want to have an abundance of metal in this area. So really be mindful about what you have in that space. So, again, the dominating element should be wood with a small supportive element of water. And that could be as simple as if you're working with your desk, maybe just having a vase of flowers in that top left corner to satisfy both the wood and water element. One note I want to make is if your bathroom is in this area, it's really going to be imperative to maintain the amount of water. There's a reason why money going down the drain is, we take that very seriously in feng shui. So you really want to minimize the draining effect in this area. So keeping lids down, doors closed, and small adjustments are really going to be important. I really recommend maybe the red ribbon technique tied on all of your plumbing lines, especially the toilet and sink outflow drains. That's one recommendation. And I think we talked about this more in some previous episodes as well. So, the next way in which you can increase your wealth and abundance through the feng shui of your home is by color. So, traditionally, purple is associated to power, wealth, luxury, royalty. So, infusing some purple is a really great way to increase your wealth corner. Another color you could use is green as it's associated to wood. And again, wood is our dominant element for this corner. This does not mean you have to paint your walls green or purple. You can simply just bring it in through artwork. Maybe your pot for your plant is purple or green. Again, your plant is green itself, depending on what space you're actually looking at. Maybe a purple throw pillow or a candle, or even just an amethyst crystal. And that's a great segue into crystals. So, another way in which to increase your wealth and prosperities is by use of crystals. Now, crystals are considered a metal element. So, be mindful here. Again, we talked about metal being the destructive element. So, I would recommend just adding one, maybe two, but probably just one crystal to this space is really all that's going to be necessary. Be sure to program your crystal so that it's providing a specific purpose, use a certain intention, and clearing your crystal first, obviously. So, after clearing your crystal, you can do that through smoke or soaking in salt water for a few minutes, or just simply running your crystal under water. Just do not allow them to soak too long because some crystals cannot withstand that. And just give it an intention through a quick meditation or with a mindful affirmation, such as money flows into my life with ease and joy. Another one might be I welcome the flow of money into my life. Again, a lot of attention on the flow, the in and the out, right? So, some recommended crystals for the wealth and prosperity corner of your home could be amethyst. Not only is it a great crystal for intention setting, but it's also purple. So, it brings in that color. Also, jade, citrine, blue topaz, adventurine. Those are all really great crystals for the wealth corner as well. The next way in which you can increase your wealth and prosperity is by adding plants. And we sort of already referenced this, but not only do plants detoxify our spaces, they really add life and beauty to a space very naturally. And the simple act of caring for our plants is a reminder to care and tend to our money or our relationship to it. So, some plant recommendations are aloes, peace lilies, rubber plants, ferns, spider plants, bamboo. I recommend you purchase those in quantities of 3 or 9 stalks. Bamboo represents that positive upward growth. And really, any plant that has a soft, rounded edge is typically considered a good feng shui plant. Anything prickly or sharp, like a cactus, isn't necessarily bad, but if we're using plants specifically for enhancement of a space, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I mean, if you already own some cactuses and you love them, that's great, and you care for them well, no worries. But if wealth and prosperity is something that you're working on and this is the area of the home that we're enhancing, this is not somewhere I would put a prickly plant. And last but not least is the concept of enjoying your money. There's happy money and there's unhappy money. I really enjoyed reading about this concept in Ken Hoda's book, Happy Money, where he talks about your money EQ, which is different than your money IQ. IQ, obviously, your logical understanding of money, but your money EQ is your emotional reaction to money. I mean, I think it's really worth looking at how you receive money. Do you enjoy money? Do you feel confident about money? Do you share your money? Our relationship to money and how we spend it, just really paying attention when you're paying the bills. Are you stressed? That's a vibration that you're putting out. Or do you make payments online with gratitude? A great example is griping about the expense of groceries. I catch myself doing this. Like, oh my gosh, groceries, especially now, the prices keep going up. I once spent 150, now I'm spending $200 every time I'm at the grocery store. So that's an example of unhappy money. The vibration of that is not good. So that's what the universe is going to keep giving us, is that everything's so expensive attitude. Or we could flip the switch and simply say, I'm so grateful that I have the means to put food on the table for my family and that there are snacks and that we enjoy food. And, it's really about changing your mindset. And if you need help understanding your relationship with money, I do recommend working with a money coach. They can help you uncover some of your money blocks or beliefs and give you a really good understanding of your money archetype. What is your relationship with money? How do you spend money? How do you save money? I personally worked with Jenny Carlson of Financials for Creatives, who you're going to also hear from in next week's episode. But working with her really helped me understand my relationship to money, my beliefs, my patterns, the things that were holding me back from experiencing more abundance. So, working with her in combination of working with my Wealth Corner has really started shifting my mindset on money. And I mean, it's still a work in progress. I will share with you my particular home's feng shui has a huge focus on money. What's really interesting about my home, I have a pretty easy floor plan. It's pretty rectangular, so the Bagua map fits nice and snug right on top. But I also have an extension off the back left corner, which, as we've learned, is my wealth corner. And anytime there is an extension connected to any of these guas, that's an area of life that is going to be highlighted while you're living in the home. So money is highlighted. And the second connection that I had made with my home is that numerologically speaking, my home is a 9 house, which 9, has a sense of completion. And so to me, what my intuition has shown me is that yes, my home, while I'm here, has this focus on money and wealth and prosperity and what I believe about that. And while I'm living here, because it's a 9 house, that I'm going to complete that cycle and I'm going to come to finally really understand and play with my money in a new way. The other interesting thing about my home is my kitchen sits in my wealth corner, and the extension is a sunroom right off the back of that. And I've done a few renovations to this house. We've done all the bathrooms, and everything else that was ever needed in this house was really just cosmetic, but the kitchen needs redone. And so just knowing that kind of the last thing in the house that needs a renovation is so interesting that, it's the area of my life that needs a little work. And so I'm working on it. So I invite you to explore maybe just one or two of these. I would not do all of these at once. Figure out which one really resonates with you and start there and give it a month or so. See if there's any shifts. Pay attention to money received in very small ways, not just winning the lottery. I mean, really pay attention to those little things, refunds, unexpected checks, things like that. So you're going to locate your money corner. You're then going to clear away any clutter. You're going to open up for more flow, giving and receiving. We're going to add maybe a wood element. We're going to make sure we don't have too much metal in that space. We're going to make sure we have a small support of water. Colors that can be introduced are purples and greens. You could also add something small that is red or gold. That also has a strong association to abundance. Crystals, again, adding just one crystal, ensuring it's cleared and charged with your intention. Adding plants, anything with soft rounded edges, again, like the crystal, just add one plant. And enjoy your money. Really come to understand your relationship to money. I really believe that awareness is number one. And you might sit in between awareness and manifestation for a while. Sometimes it takes a while. That's something I have come to know and accept. It's not something that happens overnight, but just every day reminding yourself, what is my belief about this? Do I actually believe that? Because our thoughts are only coming from our beliefs. You hear a lot of talk about our thoughts matter, happy thoughts happy life, whatever. But it's really goes one step back. What is your belief about money? Because if your belief about money is negative, then you're going to get thoughts to support that. So go one step back from thought and ask yourself, is this a belief? It is maybe something that you believed for a long time, but beliefs can be changed. So just start to think about that. Let me know how this goes for you. I'd be really curious if these quick, tangible tips have made any sort of impact or shift. Let me know what comes up. And if you need help addressing some of these, this is where working with a consultant is really going to be helpful. So if you'd like to also work with me to explore your money mindset, your money's feng shui, you can always reach out to me for a consultation. And the contact form is right on my website, jadescottdesign.com. I will put a link to that in the show note for you as well. Thank you so much for your support of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. April is Financial Awareness Month, and so I wanted to discuss some of the ways in which you can increase your overall feeling of abundance, especially as it relates to your money, your wealth, your prosperity, all through the lens of feng shui. Also, my sweet friend and fellow podcaster, Liane of the Spiritual Shift Worker podcast, is hosting a giveaway for Abundant April. Liane's podcast is approaching 1,000 downloads, and she asked me to be a part of celebrating. Next week, she will be announcing all of the cool prizes, so make sure you are following her on Facebook or Instagram at The Spiritual Shift Worker. I'll also be posting and sharing updates regarding the giveaway at Jade Scott Design. All of the details, including how to enter, can be found at either account. Lastly, reviews of the podcast helps me grow. So if you are enjoying this podcast, please let me know by offering a kind review or simply sharing it with friends. I also love tags on Instagram. Until next time, my friends, much love and gratitude.